Ebola virus disease is a usually fatal disease that is relevant and important to be well informed of because of the current West African outbreak. The things I'm going to talk about in my speech are what is Ebola, the West African outbreak, and what the world is doing to contain the outbreak. First off, to start, what is Ebola? Ebola virus disease, or EVD, is a usually fatal disease caused by the Ebola virus and marked by high fever, severe gastrointestinal distress, and bleeding. Is it contagious? Ebola is contagious through bodily fluids, but not through air or water. The symptoms include the sudden onset of fever, fatigue, muscle pain, headache, and sore throat. Later symptoms include vomiting, rash, impaired kidney and liver function, also internal and external bleeding. Suggested treatment includes, although there is no officially proven suggested treatment, one of the best things you can do is stay hydrated, because often the reason people die from Ebola is because of dehydration. Also, other treatments include blood products, immune therapies, and drug therapies, though they're still being tested. Also, there are currently 2 potential vaccines that are undergoing testing but have not been legalized yet. The death rate for those who contract the disease is between 25% and 90%, averaging at about 50% depending on where you live. What healthcare you have access to will either lessen or make your chance of survival greater. The history of Ebola, in 1976, the first outbreak of Ebola occurred. It occurred simultaneously in 2 different countries, in Sudan and the Democratic Republic of Congo. In Sudan, the outbreak infected 284 people and killed 151. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, it infected 318 people and caused 280 deaths. Another very important outbreak happened in 1995. This was also in the Democratic Republic of Congo and caused 315 infected cases, killing 254 people. Between then and now, there have been other outbreaks, including Uganda in 2000 and again in the Democratic Republic of Congo in 2003. Okay, now I'll talk about knowledge specific to the West African outbreak. The first case was a victim in Guinea, was said to be a 2-year-old child who died in December 2013. The first countries affected include Guinea, Sierra Leone, and Liberia, because it started in Guinea and then spread to Sierra Leone and Liberia. The majority of people who have contracted the disease have been in these 3 countries. Other countries also included are Nigeria, Senegal, and the United States. The first case on American soil occurred in the city of Dallas, Texas on September 30th, 2014. The man was diagnosed after having just previously flown in from Nigeria, where he was said to have contracted the disease. He died 8 days after his diagnosis. Containing the outbreak. On August 8th, 2014, the World Health Organization declared the epidemic to be an international public health emergency. This declaration, though slow in coming, was an advance towards containing the outbreak because Ebola was called to the attention of the entire world. This means that it took 1,000 deaths and 5 months before Ebola was declared a public health emergency. Comparing to other outbreaks. Through 2013, the World Health Organization reported a total of 1,716 cases and 24 outbreaks in the history of Ebola. Significantly compared to the West African outbreak, which has so far resulted in 14,413 reported cases and over 5,000 deaths. That's about 8 times the amount of deaths in the 2013-14 West African outbreak as in the entire history of Ebola. The cost of stopping the virus. The best tactic to stop the virus is to isolate and monitor any persons who come into contact with an infected person. When a diagnosis is made, the time is spent to contact every person who may have been in close quarters or proximity with the person who is diagnosed, and they are isolated for a period of 21 days, which is the set amount of days that symptoms would be likely to occur in. America's involvement. Barack Obama is quoted saying, "The Ebola outbreak is more than a health crisis. This is a growing threat to regional and global security." Also, Obama committed 3,000 troops and $500 million to support the effort. The troops will be involved with building more treatment centers and won't come into direct contact with the disease. Many countries have supported the efforts to contain the disease by giving money, but unfortunately the disease is spreading faster than aid is coming in. Not only does the Ebola outbreak cost a fortune, but to stop it would also require a significant number of trained healthcare professionals. To get involved with Ebola, you can send money by donating to different organizations. I would suggest nonprofit organizations such as Samaritan's Purse or Doctors Without Borders. And that is my speech.